What kids ought to think about switch hitting and which ones really should avoid it? What's the decision in that?
Quite honestly, I think they all should try it, see if they like it. Obviously, your better athletes are probably going to be the ones that pick it up a little faster than other kids. But Frenchie can attest, those breaking balls coming into you are a lot easier to hit coming in than going away from you. I mean, how many times you strike out on a slider off the
off the what? I didn't hear you. I think we're breaking
up. So, when that ball starts out away from you and is breaking in, you can hone in on it pretty nicely. And
yeah,
I could imagine facing a Pedro Martinez curveball or a Kevin Brown slider, righty on righty. I can't imagine facing a Randy Johnson lefty on lefty slider. I mean, I would have zero chance either way, So that's the main thing. Yeah, but I mean, I would dabble with everybody. If I was everybody's dad, at some point I would pull them aside and say, "Hey, let's try it." You might find that they like it. You might find that they have a better swing. I had a better swing left-handed than I did right-handed, from day one. And once Dad saw that, he's like, "Well, I got to stay on him now because he's going to be a good switcher one day."
All right, we're sitting in Chicago facing Carlos Marmol. All he does is throw sliders to me. And Chipper, I'm walking over the plate, and he goes, "I don't want you to swing the bat." And I'm like, "At all?" And he goes, "Yeah, literally take." And I'm like, "Well, what if I strike out?" And he goes, "Well, you're going to probably strike out anyways if you swing, so just sit there." So I'm like, "All right." And it taught me a great lesson, though, because I went up, and he walked me on 5 pitches. And one of the sliders probably was maybe even a ball that they called a strike. And he said, "See, this is what he thinks of you and what you're going to do." But it did make sense. That was one thing I always said. Chipper was thinking with the game. And you hear me now when I announce. There's one thing I always loved about Chipper and what he said is he was watching the game. And I always said if I could go back, especially now that I'm announcing, good Lord, I feel like I know everything. You know what's coming. You can see the game. But I could have done that too if I would have watched the game at certain times. And that's one thing he did the best at. I mean, he did. He dissected the game. And so I challenge my kids and my team a lot of times, watch what's going on. Even if you only learn one thing, it might help you at some point.
Yeah, that's great.